Titanfall.
Hello there everybody, my name's Jared, bringing you guys a Titanfall video. It's a bit of a different video compared to what I usually do on my channels, but on Titanfall.com/Titanfall, on the subreddit that I check very often, I definitely recommend you guys to go check out the Titanfall subreddit. I will be sure to leave a link down to this thread in the description, but someone wrote a Grunt story, which I thought was pretty cool. They're actually writing from the perspective of a Grunt, and what it would like to be out on the battlefield, and I thought it was pretty dang cool, and I spent a lot of time putting this together, editing it, especially. I spent about 15 minutes recording it, and obviously the video's not going to be that long, but I messed up a lot of times and I just finished editing all of it together, so I'm sure you guys will hopefully enjoy it. If you want to read along, or if you just want to read it, you can be sure to go check out the link down in the description. But with that being said, let's get into the story. D-2 minutes. Wake up and get ready. The shout echoed in the dropship, floating in silent space. It shook Michael awake. He was a heavy sleeper. You can't wake him by yelling at him. Always caused problems in boot camp. It was a few months after I was conscripted to the IMC, and this was the first time I'd be seeing combat. We were going to warp to luxurious area for the privileged, or what was left of one. Now, I was only a fuel storage. This wasn't the first dropship going there today, and hopefully it wasn't going to be the last. I quickly said, "Ready up, Michael," under my breath before checking my gear. D-30 seconds, secure yourself. A warp drive has been on lately. The ship may shake on entrance. Michael checked his 5-pilot seatbelt, and so did I. We're going to warp, prepare yourself. The crew chief shrieked. I hope she would shut up and let me concentrate as my vision stretched out with a blue glow. The warp drive made a whoosh, and we were looking at a dull, brownish landscape with shattered buildings. I released my seatbelts and grabbed my zipline. Michael followed my steps carefully. The locks of the doors were opening, and soon they flew open. Go, go, go! This was the last I was going to hear of that crew chief. At least I hope so. The speed at which I was sliding down didn't feel nearly as fast as back in boot. I guess it was the adrenaline. The orange glow of militia's suits was glowing in the distance. We were here to stop them from taking the fuel stored here. The flight had been going on for a few minutes already. The boots we had on the ground previously had been requesting backup. Now we were among those guys. I didn't feel good about it. At least I was the squad marksman with my longbow and not one of the breachers with the EVA 8. I feel bad for those guys. You could run into a Spectre in close quarters and die pretty much instantly. Michael grabbed me from behind and turned me around. He pointed at a light blue figure dashing around at huge speeds and jumping around so fast it looked like she was flying. Is that a pilot? I asked Michael. He was so fast to respond. Heck yeah, he said. I'd never seen a pilot in action before. They told us the stories about them back in boot, but I didn't really believe them. To see one in action was amazing. She had an LMG in her hands and an Archer rocket strapped to her back. To run that fast with such a load was an incredible feat. While jumping from wall to wall, she took out 4 militia scrum in a split second. Thinking about what militia pilots could do gave me the shivers. We began to advance. There was a huge cliff caused by collapsed land, a cliff on the edge which we were walking on. I didn't want to look down at all. Michael spotted some hostile infantry a good 300 yards away. Our squad leader told me to pick them off, as I was the only one capable of neutralizing a threat that far away. I zoomed in and saw 3 guys sneaking on the other side of a wall. The other side had a pilot, obviously the threat. If I didn't act fast, we would have a pilot casualty, and the odds would be skewed in militia's favor. Blam, blam, blam! 2 of the fighters were down and the third one was holding his stomach. I didn't finish him off. That's what you get for joining the militia. I still kept an eye on him if he were trying to do something stupid as a last resort. Enemy down! I told the squad leader. Good, good, was his response. I saw him open his mouth to bark with the next order. Okay, so oh yeah! I yelled. We're being counter-sniped. We all quickly slid down a hill from the edge of a cliff. If we were pinned down there, it would be a point of no return. Everyone from my squad made it into cover. Well, except the one guy whose name I still haven't memorized, Frank? Anyways, in cover with some good room to breathe. Good. I whipped out my thermal binoculars and looked at the only possible vantage point the guy could have been in. That's when stuff really hit the fan. We were being shot at by a pilot. I shouted at my whole squad to stay in cover. I would try to pick him off when he made his advance towards us. He did sure start to cover distance between us and him. The bad side of this was all the speed he was doing it at. He must have covered at least 30 feet every second. Thankfully, he made a really bad mistake when doing it. He was running at us in a straight line. I've got you now, you son of a snitch, I said to myself when squeezing the trigger. Kablam! Time slowed down to a crawl while I looked at my tracer fly towards his chest. It was dead on. Sure enough, it was dead on, but it just plinked off his armor like I was shooting at him with a BB gun. What? Clink! My gun flew out of my hands like an invisible force had pushed me down to the ground. The pilot had returned fire, struck my gun, and something else too. Michael! He was lying down on the ground in a bloody pile. No, I thought to myself. Michael would have been my best friend of the IMC. Now we've just gone like that? No. I grabbed my pistol from my holster and yelled at the top of my lungs. I set it to full auto and unloaded on the pilot still coming my way. For Michael. It did slow him down, but it had no other effect. I dropped my pistol to the ground, still out of breath from screaming. I looked up at the sky. There was a bright flame glowing a few hundred yards above the ground. It had a direct impact on the pilot being way too close by the time he was turned to a fine red puree. Before I could comprehend what just happened, the same female pilot from before jumped into the result and took off in a Titan. I was hopeless and struck by awe at the same time. I just sat there thinking about how long it would take for a hostile to come my way and find me exhausted and mourning. They've got the fuel! Get the heck out of there! It's no man's land now! Evac will be there in 40 seconds! It will not wait for you, Heine. Evac. I had to get there. I had to get off this godforsaken place. I get myself together and grab Michael's carbine. A DMR would do me no good if I went alone, especially the one bent from the shot. I had a good pace going to the evac site, not a rush, but I would be there with more than enough time left. I took out a few grunts, just like I was. On the way there with Michael's rifle, as a revenge, I had the evac site in my sight. Then it struck me. The evac site was on the roof. I had no way to get up there. They were only going to evacuate pilots. Well, guys, that's quite the story. I really like this. It was something different, something very cool. I definitely recommend you guys go check this out down on the subreddit. Some guys commented, you maybe go comment your thoughts on it. I myself really like the story. I like to see more of these things in the future, but please leave a like if you enjoyed the story, and as well as if you enjoyed my trying to be a narrative person. I still have a lot of time, or excuse me, I still have a lot of trouble reading and talking at the same time at a fluent pace, because my eyes go a whole lot faster than I speak. Even though I already speak pretty dang fast, my eyes still go faster than the speed of my speech. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this. My name is Jerry, being another Titanfall audio commentary. I'm going to try my hardest to get one more video out for tonight, and I will see you then. Thanks so much for watching, and once again, leave a like if you enjoyed. Goodbye.